Why don't you get a job or something, you know?
Despite playing plenty of shooter games over the years, I've never been really able to get attached to many of them. A large part of that I attribute to what I suppose is a lack of purpose for shooting things. I used to be a big fan of Halo multiplayer back on the Xbox 360 days, but hand me any competitive shooter nowadays, like CSGO or Call of Duty, and I'll just start snoring, even though I have a lot of fun watching my friends play them. On the other hand, games like Payday 2, any of the first several Halo campaigns, and Spec Ops The Line I find to be tons of fun, with the latter being near the top of my list of my favorite games of all time. In fact, as I was making this video, I discovered, played, and completed Cruelty Squad, a game designed to be as alienating and player hostile as possible. Yet despite that, I consider it one of the most mechanically solid FPS games in recent history, and a definite standout among shooter games in general. If there isn't any reason for me to shoot what's in front of me besides, they're bad, I lose interest real quick and start yelling racial slurs at Isaac again. Oh, fuck you. That's bullshit. Oh, go fight!
Kill yourself!
That's why I was kind of worried when I first heard there was a Scarface game released in 2006 on the PS2 and original Xbox. Oh, and Windows Media Store too, if you're one of the 2 people who gave a shit about that. In theory, a game about Scarface should be the perfect setting for a crime game, and one that should be tailored directly to my taste, being a huge fan of games like the aforementioned Payday 2 and the movie myself.
You're a
I didn't want to see it turn into a shitty run gunner without any relation to the movie that spawned it, and tossed aside like a piece of shit. I looked up the developer's history, Radical Entertainment, and saw I was already very familiar with plenty of their work, with Tetris Worlds being my favorite puzzle game directly behind Puyo Puyo Tetris, and Simpsons Hit and Run being my favorite tie-in game ever made. At the same time, however, their history with movie tie-ins is not a particularly strong one, with them also being responsible for the dreadful Terminator NES game, the horrendous Beavis and Butthead game, and the abysmal NES Wayne's World. Still though, their track records leading up to Scarface was good, and I was hopeful that would continue, so I did the natural thing, and pirated all the things I needed to emulate the game. Mostly because there isn't a single hard copy for sale on Amazon, which means it's free. Okay, starting the game, here we go. Are you shitting me? The game is starting with an ad? Look, this might seem like a stupid comment and I should start playing Over the Horizon on my phone. But consider how this looks from someone who expects this game to be bad. It isn't exactly a good first impression to immediately start shilling for me to buy another copy of the movie I'd already watched 5 times before I even see the title screen. It makes the game look like a high-effort commercial that I would have paid money for if I didn't steal it. Joke's on me, I guess. Okay, so we've reached the title screen, a view of Tony Montana in his mansion's office. The modeling looks very good, especially for a PS2 game. Tony looks as close as he possibly could to Al Pacino in this graphic fidelity, and that's a real talent to pull off. Granted, he's in practically every shot of the game, barring maybe 2, so he needed to look good. When you first start a new file, the game opens to a short tutorial segment of Tony when he was in Freedom Town, where you learn the basics of the game's control scheme.
What kind of work you do in Cuba, Tony?
You know, things I was, construction business. I work a lot with my hands. I was in the army.
It, for the most part, follows a standard GTA formula. Hold the cross button to run, or A if you're using an Xbox controller, bumpers to shoot, standard stuff. What you'll notice, however, is that the game features a lock-on system for gunplay, a far cry from GTA's point-and-shoot methodology. I'll get into this more as I go on, but this is the game's bread and butter, and it punches way above its weight as far as mechanics go. This ends with a fantastic intro sequence featuring the names of all the actors in the game set to some awesome music and visuals. And holy shit, these actors. James Woods, Ice-T, Cheech and Chong, fucking Ricky Gervais, Bam Margera?
What's up? This is Bam Margera, and you probably see me
sunken on Phil's dick while he's trying to sleep.
There's one voice that's notably missing from the game, however. That's because it isn't Pacino doing his role as Tony. At the point this game was made, he had stated that despite being excited over the prospect of a Scarface game, he thought he was unfortunately too old and out of practice to perform the iconic Scarface voice anymore. As an act of courtesy though, he held an audition to personally select the man who he believes can represent Scarface as he intended. That man ended up being Andre Sogliuzzo, who does a fuck ton of different voices for all kinds of things, from TV to movies to games to anime. I'm just going to scroll through his list on the Wikipedia page, you'll probably recognize at least one thing he's voiced in, and he does an excellent Scarface. There's actually an interview on YouTube where he breaks down exactly how he does Tony's voice.
The minute you start thinking of Tony, the chest has to come out, the shoulders go back, and there's a kind of swagger, and then that just inevitably becomes a vocal thing. Hey, you want a drink? It's almost a softness that's containing the explosion that is yet to come, you know? So if I talk to you like this, all of a sudden, I go, fuck you! It becomes, you know, you can go from huge to small because it's always, the fuse is always lit.
Thankfully, he has not lost it since Scarface: The World Is Yours, and reprised his role as Tony for the now-defunct Payday 2 DLCs, that act as an unofficial sequel to The World Is Yours. Oh yeah, the full name of the game is Scarface: The World Is Yours, but I'm just going to be calling it Scarface for brevity throughout most of this video. After this sequence, you're dropped immediately back into Scarface Mansion, playing out the final shootout scene where Tony is assassinated by Sosa's hit squad. Oh yeah, spoilers for the 40-year-old movie. If I have to tell you that the Scarface game will spoil Scarface, you probably have some kind of lead paint to eat, or stoves to touch, or I don't know. It's a remarkably accurate recreation of the scene, complete with voice acting lifted from the movie scene and correct gang member placements and animations. One thing that's notable about this game that I always love seeing is that every cutscene in the game is done using actual in-game environments and models. I think it shows a large amount of confidence from the developers in the graphics they made for their game. It's really cool. Now, anyone who's seen this movie knows what that backshot of Tony represents. Now let's see what happens if I just let it happen. Holy shit, Tony's eating these shots like a fucking champ. If he could do that in the movie, it would have gone on for another 3 fucking hours. Oh, come on, I'm not that bad at the game. Now, playing through this properly this time, in the perspective of the whole game, this part is ironically pretty hardcore for being right at the beginning of the game. Dudes come out of every crevice by the dozen, and the only reason Tony doesn't die as quickly as he will later on is because of his massive pool of health in this intro section. Even then, I don't think it would be possible to get through this part without taunting enemies to get your rage up, so it really does a good job at showing you how the game will play throughout right from the get-go. As we run through the underground tunnels, the Scarface theme leitmotif starts playing, which I didn't catch the first time playing through. It's so badass. When you reach the garden part of the mansion, you're told the cops are coming and are given a 3:19 timer to get the hell out of there. I'm not sure if you're punished for failing at this point because it's kind of a strict timer, but I've never failed it yet and don't plan on doing so. Either way, the cops arrive at the mansion in the middle of the shootout, and a phone call with Sosa reveals that everything that Tony has is now gone, either destroyed or seized by the cops.
Mr. Sosa,
Yes? Speak to me.
the job is done. Montana is gone. Everything is destroyed. Nothing left. The policia have taken over the mansion, but there's nothing left. Nothing for him to come back to. His empire is destroyed.
2,500 keys of coke, $66 million, and 1 million balls down the drain. We return to Tony, scolding himself for letting this happen and not listening to his colleagues, aiming to turn his life around and maybe do some good in the world instead. Nah, just fucking with you.
Hey, Sosa! You thought you could take me? No! No one takes Tony Montana down by me! You hear me, Sosa, you cocksucker? No one but me. You did me a favor, you shit. Got rid of my baggage. Made me lean like before. Okay, what you gotta do to make it right? To get everything back. Sosa! The prick gotta die! Gonna bring out a war against that fuck! Anybody who tried to work with him, fuck them all!
And there you have the premise of the game. Rebuild your empire, regain your power, kill Sosa. Flash forward to 3 months later, with Tony ready to begin his crusade against his rival gangs. We have another intro scene, what is that, 3 now? Showcasing Miami and its people, and Tony's shitty driving. All set to Rush Rush by Debbie Harry. God damn, dude, he drives like me in real life. It's yet another great scene in a game full of them. You gotta hand it to the devs, they did an amazing job at making it feel like you're playing the movie. The first mission you get is to contact your lawyer, George Sheffield, who's at the Babylon Club.
Okay. You wanna let me in, or is this how we're gonna do business now? Do the hole in the wall?
Mr. Sheffield is having a business lunch at the Babylon Club at the moment.
Right away, I show off my sick driving skills. Oh, sorry, missed the turn. Haha, roads are for retarded people. I'm the smartest gamer alive. God damn it, wrong entrance. Finally got to the club, with both me and my car only having a mild case of hematemesis. Inside we find...
If you're wanting free legal advice, how about a little head?
Ooh, piece of pussy.
James Woods pulling a Weinstein. I mean, at least it's not an Epstein. He responds to Tony's business offer by pointing him towards a bar owner named Coco.
I want Sosa's head on a fucking platter, man.
Sosa, Tony? Impossible.
Why? You got some kind of shortage of platters?
Instead of going directly to her, Tony decides to meet up with Felix, an acquaintance of his, I assume. Before leaving the bar, however, Tony gets stopped by 2...
What's all over your face, pal?
Your wife's pussy.
The CIA names glow in the dark.
They're basically just there to extort 10,000 doubloons from Tony for his mansion. Hey, how'd they know I'd be here? This is the point in the game where the cops start coming after you if you drive like this. Or this. Or do things like this. We meet up with Felix, who gives us the rundown that a triangle of gangs led by Gaspar, Nacho, and the Diaz brothers are all fighting for Tony's previous territory and exploiting the customer base of Miami. He also gives us 200 grams of coke and tells us to follow up with Coco, who is, according to him, a trustworthy dealer. Thanks, Felix. Oh, wow. Looks like I got the leopard skin print convertible with regeneration superpowers.
What you talking? That's a Cadillac.
I wouldn't be caught dead in that thing.
I have to look all the way over there?
Give me a scotch.
On the rocks?
Straight up.
I know you.
No, we never met.
No, but you've been here before. A long time ago, you were with another man. Tall, good-looking Cuban guy.
This paradise. This is paradise, I'm telling you.
Coco basically just lets us practice dealing drugs before we do it for real. The way persuasion works in this game is this timing minigame. All you have to do is hold down the cross button to fill the bar up as much as possible. The whiter the region, the better the result, with white being in your favor, dark gray being against, and hazard lines being a total failure that usually results in a shootout. Everything from intimidation, to buying and selling coke, to even some story mission objectives requires this minigame. So get used to it, quick. Find some dealers and sell the 200 grams you have for a maximum of 20 grand, more than enough to buy back your mansion. Oh man, that's the only tutorial I needed. Head straight there and you'll find the glowies from False Flagburg, aka FBI headquarters, stationed outside in their gay little van. They reveal over there from Vice, and that they intend on milking Tony for all they can so that he can keep the cops and the rival gangs off his ass. I'll get into that later. Ugh, what the fuck is that thing? Apparently Sosa told his men to rip a hole in my graphics card when they attacked. Jesus, what a fucking mess. At least it's mine again, though. Here, Tony gets his first little bit of reputation, enough to unlock small-time suppliers, and some weapons to buy. Tony calls Felix to give him a rundown of what's going on, and receives a tip from him about Gaspar potentially laundering money from his storehouse. Tony heads straight there, blows past Steve Urkel like a Chad, into a booba party. Holy shit, look at that minimap. Not intending to die just yet, I decided to take the coward's way through this. This is a great demonstration of the lock-on and rage systems. Tapping the bumper will switch you from target to target, so long as you take them out, encouraging you to take shots carefully to go for either quick kills or maximum balls. Balls is what fills up your rage meter, and affects some miscellaneous stats at certain cumulative amounts, like your max health. You get balls mostly through taunting enemies as you shoot and kill them, or hitting and dismembering specific parts of their body like kidneys, head, limbs, and balls. Rage mode puts you into a first-person view, making you totally invincible to all damage, gives you infinite ammo, makes kills heal, boosts your damage several times, and makes Tony auto-lock onto enemies in front of him. At worst, it's a full heal that turns the tides, and at best, it wins you the fight on the spot.
Take it easy. Give him money. Tell him how much
time. You don't deserve it.
What was that? Yeah, if you remember the movie, Tony has a personal restriction against killing women, children, and anyone who doesn't fuck with him.
I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have it coming to me.
Olvide eso. Mandamos este tipo solo. Sin mujer y sin hijo.
It's one of the reasons he's so likable despite doing such shitty things, and is ironically what ends up getting him in the shootout that kills him. That carries over to the game. Tony will absolutely refuse to hurt pedestrians in any way while on foot, completely stopping his shooting while aiming at them. This isn't hard code for the player, mind you. When playing as Tony's henchman, you can do whatever you want to the pedestrians. It's one of the best instances of showing, not telling, a character trait I've ever seen. Fucking great stuff, really. Blast your way to the top, get a shotgun while you're here, and start a fist fight with this prick. Melee combat is unusually fleshed out for something that barely comes up in the game, but it isn't exactly good. When unarmed, you have punches, shoves, and counters to defend yourself. Countering is actually pretty tough and has particular timing, so I'd stick with just mashing the punch button since that works just fine.
What the shit? Detour! Adios, amigo.
With the remaining security detail on your tail, make your way to the parking garage where the armored truck filled with cash is sitting. Gun down everyone in sight and make off with it.
I teach you a lesson you never forget.
You can't shoot while in the truck, so be as quick as possible getting down to the freeway. Crash into the helicopter that lands for some fucking reason, and the rest of them scatter. Tony also finds a newfangled satellite phone in the truck, which Gaspar promptly calls.
Hello?
Hey, Rico, why the fuck can't I reach anyone at the fucking storehouse? Are you making the delivery?
Oh, is that you, Gaspar? You sound fatter on the phone.
Who the fuck is this? Where's Ricardo?
I taken back what you owe me, Gaspar.
Montana?
Hey, fuck you, man.
Tony goes in to make the deposit and is sent to see the bank's manager, Jerry.
Welcome to the limit. Take it maybe once.
He says that he'll open Tony's account, but since he's a real businessman now, you'll have to charge an interest fee for deposits.
Tony, sweetheart, we're not a wholesale operation, we're a legitimate bank. The more cash you give me, the harder it is for me to rinse.
Tony insists he'll fight each and every time to get it lowered. The bank is where to save the game and launder your money. Yeah, that's what the bank icon down in the bottom left is for. Basically, when you die, or fuck up as the game calls it, you lose all your dirty money and grams of coke. Any money you run through the bank is considered laundered and will remain with you until you spend it. It's a neat concept to limit save scumming and encourage reckless spending of any money you come across, like Tony would do, since running it through the bank makes you lose a chunk of it. The bank teller hands Tony a catalog containing exotic items for their most prestigious clients, which Tony becomes interested in after finding out a tiger will soon be available.
It's a catalog.
Oh, yeah? Can I buy a tiger from this thing?
I believe that the tiger will be made available soon, yes.
Tony calls Felix, waxes based,
I got this new phone, some sort of satellite voice tracking shit. I think the Russians made it. Those commies are probably listening to us right now, but I don't give a fuck.
And suggests the idea that he should purchase fronts to push his dope. Felix suggests purchasing a pawn shop in Little Havana. So that is our next goal. This is what the main gameplay loop and overarching goal of the game is. Purchasing all the turf you can in Miami. It takes money though, and a lot of it. But for now we decided to blow $15,000 on a personal driver who can deliver us our cars because Tony is too fat to walk. Fat with cash, that is. And coke. And coke. Crash your way to Pedro's pawn shop because your car's a fucking piece of shit. Tell some cunt in the back alley to kick rocks. And go in. All while the song in the background keeps singing about doing me.
What you fucking looking at?
Hey man, I play the game fair.
Pedro's pawn shop.
Pedro is content with the offer, but we have to dump some shit so the cops don't bust him before he sells. What are we dumping for him? Just look at him. What do you think it is? This mission is pretty straightforward. Drive around, drop the lolly off, go back, pick Dazed Destruction up, drop it off again. It's pretty shit, not gonna lie. The only time it gets interesting is when the cops come early and you have to avoid them in Pedro's pedo van he uses to run Pedo's prawn shop. But all that means is leaving the red circles and avoiding the badge icons in the minimap. Don't get me wrong, the cops in this game are tenacious and smart as fuck to an annoying degree. But we'll get to that later since I haven't been caught yet. Since you're going to be at minimal cop heat for this mission, it really isn't a problem to escape them, even in this hunk of junk van. Finish the mission and you'll get the option to purchase a pawn shop. Only one problem though. You don't have the money, especially if you paid off your heat like I did. The game recommends you contact Felix to get some coke to flip to make up the difference. I've got a more elegant solution though. Yeah, remember those guys that talked shit before? Well, they just got hit by bullets in the face. There are gangs all over the city that you can bust to get a couple $1,000s. And the one conveniently located behind Pedro's should be more than enough to cover the cost of this place. Do ya?
Hey, I said no fucking phone calls, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Montana. I didn't get your fucking memo.
What do you want, Gomez? Huh? Didn't your horse show up?
Listen to me, Tony. I want my fucking phone back.
Sorry, Gaspar. You're breaking up. Must be like a satellite or something, okay? I'll talk to you later. Fucking piece of shit.
The biggest money sink in the game is increasing your reputation, which you do mainly by purchasing exotics. This includes new vehicles, decorations, estates, and hired hands. Most of these have a tangible effect on gameplay, so the majority are worth purchasing when you can afford it. Go back to the mansion and increase your reputation rank.
Don't try to sell me anything, okay?
It's Sosa, Tony. My sources tell me you're back, working the streets. Don't think you're going to get very far. I ran you out before. I will do it again.
Get out of my face, man.
What the fuck is going on there? What? Oh, you stupid cocks. 1,000 gang heat? Sosa's playing 5D chess with multiverse time travel. I wanted some pocket money, so I did a quick drug dealer and busted some gangs. As you can see here, it's not that hard for now. Next stop, Cabana Cigar.
Havana cigar.
The owner says that he can't sell the store until Tony retrieves some papers his accountant ran off with. She's escaping by boat, so this is most likely the first time you'll be driving a watercraft. It's not any different from a car, really. It's actually a lot easier to control, since there's not really any obstacles. You're told to avoid chemical barrels and to not shoot her down until you get all the papers they need because they're slipping out of her butterfingers. While you're doing this, you get assaulted by thugs. They're annoying, but fuck, okay, you know what, just ignore them. Catch up to her and send her to Davy Jones's locker after you get the 10th page. Man, have you ever seen a boat fucking explode after being shot with a smig a little bit? I return the papers, literally bust some heads so I can buy a Cabana cigar, and head over to the next business, the Oakley Drive-In Theater. The owner says that a gang of car enthusiasts took over the theater, and that I have to clear them out. What am I, a fucking maid to you? Call the cops or something. They actually do things in this game. This mission can be pretty difficult depending on how you approach it. The game intends that you follow the gang in a car of your own, and that's a great way of getting yourself killed. I prefer to stand by some walls and shoot them like they're targets in a range. You'll lose a fair bit of health, but there's some medkits in the building, and you still have access to rage mode. You also have access to an infinite supply of ammo for this mission, so you aren't limited in that department either. After 2 waves get killed, the leader makes a dramatic entrance on a fucking warthog from Halo. This guy can be troublesome since he has a long range and lethal damage, so I'd recommend the car strat here, at least until you kill the gunner. Yeah, sadly car-based combat is pretty cumbersome to use in this game. It intends you to either activate cruise control to keep your speed up while you're aimed, or manually drive and shoot at the same time. The problem with both of these strats is that no matter what, you have to look away from the road and will inevitably crash into something. Whenever I have the option, I choose to get out and use the car as cover rather than fight behind the wheel. And thankfully the game is tolerant of that tactic in almost every case.
It's taken care of. You're gonna have to have a Bogart with, man, okay? Just start with the treasure of Sierra Madre. I love Walter Houston in that one.
Where'd you learn to speak the English, Tony?
And my father, he was from the United States. He used to take me a lot to the movies, you know. I learned. I watched the guys like Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney. They teach me to talk.
Luckily for me, I had enough money to purchase the drive-in the moment I finished the mission for $100 grand. Now I suppose would be as good a time as ever to go a little deeper into the drug dealers and gang busting I've been mentioning so far. The majority of the side content involves these two things. One is if you like open world exploration, and the other is if you like what amount to Radiant missions. Gang busting is pretty self-explanatory. Find a group of thugs that belong to one of the rival bosses and shoot them dead for money. This method of money making is pretty dangerous if you're unprepared and gives you a lot of heat from both gangs and cops. But it's by far the most fun and fastest way to raise funds. Gangs are not randomly generated in Miami, appearing at set locations at certain times. A skull icon on the minimap indicates an active gang hideout that you can fight right then and there. And a solid gray skull means there is a hangout, but it's not occupied at this time of day. Make sure you note the location of the gang, since some post themselves in a public location that will open you up to scrutiny from the public. Since carrying guns and shooting people in broad daylight isn't exactly accepted in 1980s society. About 40 years too early for that, Tony. When a gang is in an alley, however, the cops don't give two shits what goes down, so feel free to blast away. The other option to raise money is a two-step process. First, you have to pick up a lead from Felix and finish the task for some rando freak who has connections to a drug dealer. This usually involves killing some fuckface or dropping shit off for him, but they can get much harder as you progress through the game, so they should not be underestimated. After that wraps up, you finally get contact with the dealer. At first, they will all be small-time dealers only offering a couple hundred grams of coke at a time, but eventually will offer several dozen keys that require an arduous process to secure. We'll get to that later. Either way, you'll need some capital to buy the drugs. Luckily, you'll usually get enough to fund early deals from the guy who's giving you the contact in the first place. But it's still a good idea to make sure you have enough for the largest deal possible. Head to the dealer and perform a persuasion check. Pay attention to your heat. It'll scale the amount of drugs you can buy and directly affects how many you end up receiving. So make sure you pay off your heat before buying. I cannot stress that enough because it is always worth it in 100% of every case. After that, all you have to do is distribute your drugs and launder or spend the money. Pretty easy to make money off of a couple grams you keep on your person. But the amount of work will become inefficient very quickly. You'll need something bigger and better very soon to keep up these purchases you're making. At this point in the game, the amount of balls you've accumulated is going to be attracting the attention of various suitors. Okay, fine, they're whores, but they're legitimately helpful. Every woman you collect at your mansion gives you a small but substantial health bonus, and are the only way of increasing Tony's health. And before you call me a terrible person, I want the fact that the game makes you do this when possible on the record. But again, I probably would have done it anyways. Hey, come on! They're gonna have a tiger to pet all day, baby! Eventually. Now's the most fitting time for this to happen anyways, considering we're going to the Babylon Club, again. God damn, a limo just for me. Tony really just goes there to sulk and bitch at the concept of getting old and being in a video game. Well, literally everyone around him starts pulling out guns.
Is this what it's all about? Killing, driving, dealing, swearing.
This it? This what it's all about, Manny. Eating, drinking, fucking, sucking.
Come on.
Snoring. Then what? 50? You got a bag for a belly. You got tits. You need a bra. They got hair on them. You got a liver. They got spots on it. And you're looking like these rich fucking mummies.
And the game fucked out. Yeah, this game has a lot of optimization problems. I'm not going to blame the devs or anything. It has this problem on everything but the original hardware for the Xbox. I am emulating it after all. But that doesn't change how annoying it is to deal with. You'll see that too, don't you worry. Reset. Okay, it loaded this time. Directly into a shootout in the club. Your only goal here is to kill everyone!
You can hide in the crowd and take cover. Ha ha ha! I'm God.
Fire! Fire! Ha ha ha!
I'm God. I can't wait to go to school tomorrow.
Why is this goofy fuck fighting? Screw you, dick. After the shootout, Tony starts interrogating one of the just barely survivors. He taunts Tony a little bit, but reveals that the Diaz brothers were behind this attempted hit on Tony, as well as a successful hit on Tony's mother. Tony, obviously being as enraged as anyone would be, decides to enact a little bathtub justice on the Diaz brothers.
Fuck Gaspar Gomez and fuck the fucking Diaz brothers! Fuck them all!
Here's where you're introduced and restricted to the chainsaw, the last melee weapon. And what a weapon it is. Holy fuck. Yeah. What do I even need to say? After you gib the fuck out of Edgar Diaz, Alfonso takes off in a car. All you have to do is tail him and gun him down. Pretty simple, pretty easy, very gory. Great set of missions here, some of those memorable in the game. The fucking cops took him out for me, what a stupid fuck. With the Diaz brothers out of the way, Tony has one last thing to do before he reclaims Little Havana from them for good.
You don't own this storehouse anymore, putas. Tony Montana is taking it all back. The Diaz brothers want a war, they got a war. You got that?
The storehouse is the last critical objective in all 4 regions of the map, and can be considered a boss battle of sorts. These things are just swarming with guards who will mow you down in a second without a good plan of attack. Just look at the situation I got in here.
You hear anything, you tell me, okay? Who's your jefe, huh? Who? You die, motherfucker!
Fuck, that was the closest call I've ever had in a video game. Bearing in mind, this is the first out of 4! The warehouses usually incorporate a secondary objective as well that'll give you a slight boost if it's completed perfectly. Little Havana's is 2 trucks filled with a key of yayo each. Defending them gives you access to your first large distribution right out of the gate. A large distribution can be thought of as a race. You drive around in the car of your choice, visiting all the businesses you've bought to collect your earnings and restock their product as fast as you can before cashing out at a bank. This gives you a metric fuck ton of cash and increases the demand of single grams of coke to all the businesses you've visited. While distributing, however, rival gangs will try to get involved to steal your shit. They'll either target you personally, forcing you to either flee or waste time killing them, or even worse, they might target your businesses directly to destroy your cash and trash the front. Not only do you lose out on the upfront cash when they succeed, but you have to pay for damages too. This can lead to hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost profits. But luckily we don't have to deal with it this time, so we'll get there when we get there. After the mission is finished, you have access to the money as regular dirty money, and are recommended to save the game at the bank. I prefer to spend it all on a ton of exotics first before I save though, as you're seeing here.
Manny, look at this pelican flying. Come on, pelican.
Also, note that the act of collecting your funds increases your gang heat during the mission, scaling the difficulty based on how far you're taking the distribution, and making you pay the gangs off to get them off your tail. It might sound annoying, but it's not often that you see ramping difficulty integrated so well into the game mechanics, and in such a visible and intuitive way no less. It makes me wish more games did something like this to show what actions cause what response. It's really player-friendly game design at the end of the day. As a result of reclaiming Little Havana, Tony's reputation is now level 3, and Sosa is starting to take notice and hints that he's going to send Tony back to the gutter.
Hello?
You've got balls, Tony, but it takes more than that to succeed in this business. I made you what you were before. Without me, you would still be scraping the shit out of your fingernails. Don't forget that it was Alejandro Sosa that made you, Tony. Me.
I don't give a fuck.
Tony couldn't be more indifferent. Afterwards, another call comes through from a guy named Pablo, who's supposedly an associate to Sheffield.
Tony Montana.
Hey, who the fuck is this? How'd you get my number?
My name is Pablo. I work for your lawyer, Sheffield. He asked me to track you down because he's got some important information for you. You need to meet with him.
Come on, man. What you take me for, huh? I'm not some fucking clown, you know. Why the fuck don't Sheffield call me himself? How'd you know how to reach me here?
Oh yeah, Mr. Montana. We think we may know where your wife is. Elvira.
Elvie? You sure? Where? Where is she?
Meet me in the industrial port so we can talk in person.
Pablo? Hey, coño! Coño, what the fuck?
Okay, now that that's settled, let's get Pimp Your Mansion out of the way. Yeah, you can place the exotic furniture you bought in the mansion and decorate it as you see fit. Nothing says home like the cremated remains of my sister and best friend that I killed. It's simple and kind of annoying to place some things, but it didn't need to be here at all, so it's pretty cool by default. Anyways, time to find out what happened to Elvie. Tony goes to the meeting place at the docks, unarmed, and Pablo drives us to the old Freedom Town, now abandoned. He drives off and reveals that he, in fact, wasn't lying. Sheffield did set this whole thing up in an attempt to kill Tony for good. Now we're stuck here with no weapons against a whole platoon of gang members. Needless to say, this is one of the hardest missions in the game. Your first priority is to get any weapon, then a gun. After that, it's pretty easy to finish. But getting a viable weapon is such a fucking bitch, since you have to rely on melee. I know I've talked about it before, but here's where all its flaws come out full fucking force. Mercifully, the game will only have one melee enemy attack you at a time, so you won't get swarmed and stun locked. But that's not exactly much, considering your punches do jack shit for actual damage, and that one-man rule doesn't apply for the dozen guys with guns in the back. If you're fighting more than a guy at a time, the mission's already over. Just take cover and pray you can get a gun before you perish. Fuck, dead again. God damn it! This is fucking ridiculous! Are you fucking kidding me? This stupid dickhead just whiffed twice when I held the lock-on button and tried to face the guy. Hey, this guy over there all alone. Finna rush this dumbass. since what I'm doing clearly isn't working. Get the gun! Get the gun! Yes! 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 From here on out, it was, as I said, pretty easy. But I still got some close calls after that, so don't let your guard down until the boats get there. All I have to do is chase them and kill Pablo in a gunboat, who's still here for some reason. Hey, did you drive off in the other direction? Whatever, you deserve this. Holy shit, my ears. Apparently they decided to add Civil War cannons to this gunboat. Dale would approve. Oh yeah, this part's free, so consider the mission over at this point. Back to... Fuck, recorded too late. Back to claiming fronts. First up is O'Grady's liquor shop. All you have to do is stop some gangs from destroying the stock. My attempt came with a difficulty tweak though. See that there? That's a cop. They're gonna get mad when I start shooting, and I don't have the time to wait for the gangs to kill him for me. So I have a very limited time frame to finish this before I get fucked. Other than that, this is a pretty simple and fun mission, as long as you aim good and don't spray and pray. Shotgun is king here. Come on, I'm running out of leeway here. Just stop! Okay, mission complete. But I'm still being hunted by the cops. Please tell me this is mission specific. Oh shit, I'm gonna get fucked. So you know what? I have the money for this place right now, and I'll lose it once it gets fucked. But I won't lose the store, so why not just buy it right now? Done. Let's see if this worked out. Oh, what the fuck? You're calling now?
Montana. I just got my bill for that fucking phone you stole, Montana. You owe me $3,000 fucking dollars. You should lay off the phone sex, you freak.
Hey, Gaspar, you got the money, you fuck. Why don't you sell one of your...
Yeah, I wasn't just saying it as a joke. The game literally refers to the fail state as getting fucked. When you reach this screen, it's game over. Cops will ruthlessly and intelligently swarm and blast you until you are dead. Unfortunately, I was already at low health, so you saw none of that. Lost 43k, but kept the business. Thank God, next mission.
Fidel's record.
Oh shit, it's time for Fidel's records, isn't it? This mission starts out with Fidel saying he needs you to pick up 3 tapes that the FBI is hunting him down for and destroy them. Why? Take a listen.
Look, here's the deal. They'll take the store if I don't recover and destroy 3 mixtapes. You see, I backwards masked some crazy devil worship chants on them.
I also know retrieving them is such a prick to accomplish. How do you do it? Ram into the side of the guy's car at high speeds and stun him. It shouldn't be too hard, but here's the rub. This guy's car is faster than most of your own at this point in the game. Your only opportunity to ram it is at very specific times at very specific locations. Miss a couple and you're far past fucked, even though the mission doesn't fail. So what do? Abandon and try a... Oh great, it crashed, awesome. Let's try this again. I'm using the car the game gave me since I assumed they would make it fast enough to complete the mission. Nope. Not even with perfect driving, he's still fucking right off in straightaway roads. Reset. Okay, I've got my fastest car now, let's do this. Well, it does catch up fine, but it's not exactly good at ramming. Nope, still not good enough. Fuck's sake, what do you want from me, game? The rocket car from Simpsons Hit and Run? Let's go over the driving really quick, since I've mentioned it a few times up until now, just so everyone has a clear idea what it's like to handle. Driving is very good, to the point where you don't really think about it during play. Every car feels natural to handle, to the point where you don't really need to pay attention to the stats of the vehicles in the driver's screen until you need to choose them for specific purposes like extreme speed or durability. Acceleration is never annoying like in some games, where they drag it out to be like 15 seconds to max speed. Every car reaches its cap in less than a few seconds, with the best cars being under 1 second. Controlling the car is finicky, especially in areas with plenty of objects to ram into. Not because it's difficult to handle, but because everything in the game will have a severe impact on how your car drives. Say, for example, you drive into a bench or garbage can. Depending on your car, you'll come to a screeching halt and veer straight into a wall or oncoming car. This is mitigated by choosing sturdier, heavier vehicles, such as semis and bulldozers. but that costs you speed, which you need for 90% of the missions involving vehicles. This isn't a problem local to the player either. The AI gets hung up just as much when it tries to go fast, like it's a Twitter user trying to dox a 15-year-old who said the N-word. So really, I guess what I'm saying is that driving isn't the problem. It's the fact that external forces have too much impact on the driving experience. And this can't be fixed in any reasonable way, so I'll just shut the fuck up about it. Consider this little tangent to be a critique of the real races the game has as side content, since those are nothing burgers made very annoying because of the aforementioned problem. The fact that traffic still spawns and that the AI opponents are terrible drivers don't help their case either. And thank God I got the races out of the way. Anyways, once more with this one. He got stuck. Oh, thank God! See what I'm saying? It's almost a good thing the AI sucks this bad at driving because now I don't actually have to play the mission. Okay, what? Get out of the car. Look at what it's taking to get this fucker to pull over. Fuck you! Stop! Just end it! Okay, now I get to beat the shit out of this knuckle-dragging retard. Come here, fucker. You put me in a self-defense situation.
Can't stand people who can't take a fucking hit. Die, fat ass, die.
Fat ass. Grrr.
You You'll be fucking sorry, motherfucker!
Tony is just as pissed as I am, Jesus! Okay, mission
You fucking missed me, bitch!
Now that is fucking funny! Let's get to this fucking mission already. Fuck! Recorded late again. Next up is the Eugene Shotgun Bar. This is the most oddball mission in the game, in that you don't play as Tony. Instead he plays as a hired assassin that I didn't purchase yet, but ignore that. Still have no idea why, but I think it's to stop you from getting the sniper early. Yeah, this game doesn't separate mission and free roam states for most things, like health, range meter, heat, and loadout. What that means is that anything that happens in a mission will carry over to free roam and vice versa. Since the sniper is a very late game weapon and very powerful compared to what we have, they decided to not have Tony play this mission, since they couldn't bend the rules of the game to just remove the sniper from the player, since they would pick it up legitimately. Interesting design choice, but I dig it. Very unique usage of side content and gameplay mechanics to enforce a one-time rule. Basically, the owner's boyfriend forgot to pull out, cheated on her with her waitresses, stole her money, and lost gambling. And she wants him dead for it.
God, man! Yo!
He was just on that Sigma male grind set, baby. You can't blame a guy for trying to become a slugma male, right? Right now he's out boating around Miami, so drive to the objective before time's up and set yourself up. You do some pretty wicked stunt jumps to get there too, it's a cool course. Tony's assassin has the aforementioned sniper rifle with a huge adjustable zoom range and deadly accuracy. Perfect for this exact moment. From here on out, just shoot the guy wearing the blue hat with a purple jacket. Missing or hitting the wrong guy causes everyone to speed up, so be patient and pick your shots carefully. I did this mission in a single shot. What a fucking track to go out on. Where to next? Really? Again? After everything that's happened there, we're going to Babylon again? Fine. At least this time we might get the chance to buy it outright.
One of our VIPs is the man who manages the club's accounts. He's a very influential man with the bank, and our security has been put on alert tonight because of a death threat against him. We need to ensure his safety if we are to ever sell the club, Mr. Montana.
You're like the first guy who actually has a reason to get me to do this for you. Kudos. And yep, there it is. What is this? Shootout number 3 in like 2 days? Just rename it to the Pulse nightclub at this point. Fuck it. All the mission is a defender mission. Find, escort, and protect the VIP to the extract. He's very squishy. But you have a deagle to one-shot everything in sight, so make sure you're the one getting shot at all times. As you can see, the first go didn't go so hot. He lasted a lot longer than I thought, though. Round 2, or 4, I guess, went much smoother since I just made a dash to the exit as fast as I could. Once you get there, you just shoot some more guys until the mission ends. You'd think they make this mission the hard one, considering how important of a location it takes place at, but no, it's a walk in the park compared to Fidel's fucking records. I'm not complaining. Wait, 1 million is your discount? Fuck, where am I getting that kind of money? Not easily, that's how. I got a lot of money from that mission though, so enough to buy the 2 other fronts and have change to spare. Went to the bank, got into an argument with EVP 445 apparently.
Miami has a lot of pussy, man. Just gotta have the money to get it.
I ain't interested in pussy. Just want some snack cakes.
You eat too much, man. Look at you, you fat fuck.
Yeah? Fuck you.
Hey, don't fuck with me, man. I kicked your fat ass up and down this fucking town.
Hey, don't you be getting in my face, man.
You work for Vice?
You pretty small, ain't you?
Don't you fuck with me, man.
Watch your mouth.
And banked my cash. Time to fundraise. Since I haven't done any preparation for this beforehand, I'm gonna have to do some Felix leads to get some contacts. Not a problem. Hopefully I get what I need though. $1 million isn't exactly easy to raise at this point in the game. The first job I got was to deliver a bus full of gang members to a drop-off point. Easy, but one of the Blood Brothers was kidnapped to negotiate for the bus. My job is to go there and defend him until negotiations end. One problem with that though, there's a gang right about there. So not only do I have to defend the Blood Brother from the dudes the mission is spawning, I have to protect him from the gang hideout dudes as well. And not only, what the fuck, cops too? Get me out of this mission, man. At least it ends the moment you beat the marked enemies. But doesn't really help when I still have to deal with everything I had during the mission. Holy shit, yup. Dude with the grenade launcher fucked me up. I need some money to do the supplier, so I murdered the gang by the liquor store. Should be giving me some— Jesus, 270k. Okay, got the money. Let's do this deal. Fuck, it's back at the lounge again where I just got blown to bits. Alright, let's do this. Luckily, they despawned during a deal, so it's just getting out that I have to worry about. Managed to get 700 grams for 5k, really good all things considered. Now it's time for revenge. There's only a couple of guys left here from before, so if they take out the leader, I'm safe, I think. Done. God damn it, the cops are here. I'm gone. Time for next mission. Are you kidding me? It's at the resort again, dude. If I get fucked, I lose all this money. Well, I have to risk it now. I have to defend this lady from gang members, but I also have a handicap of dealing with the feds, too. Fuck, yeah, that was hopeless. But how am I getting out of here? Oh, there's Doctor. Hurry up, I'll be fucked any second, and if I'm fucked, I'm boned. Oh, made it. Get me out of downtown, man. Next mission is just a hit and run mission. Beat down a random guy, move, beat the next guy down, move, repeat till done. Rule of 3 says this should be the last moron. Another? How many guys are there? Just hire some rando to do this shit. Ugh, another one? Fuck, this better give me a large supplier. I'm gonna be pissed, man. I've been doing this shit for almost 10 minutes now. Please end it. Alright, done. And the game crashed. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. 40 minutes down the drain. You know what? Fuck Felix and fuck his leads. That one gang gave me a massive payout, right? 4 of those, I can buy the Babylon Club. So let's just do that instead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Alright, that's 2 gangs down for 200k. This is going pretty well, and it's only been 5 minutes too. 1 more down, 70k. Time to save this, just in case. You know what? Now that I saved, maybe I can do a lead for a large supplier. This one is just a subject defense mission, so it's pretty easy. Alright, girls defended. Now I just need to pick up my reward. Just a small supplier. I have $250,000. Ah, fine. Just make this quick. Huh. That's kind of cool. The deal takes place in the Center for Video Game Crashes. Fuck! You know what? I'm done. I'm skipping all this kind of fundraising until I get large distributions, because you get the idea by now. It may be the most fun part of the game, but these crashes are so fucking unbearable it makes me just want to give up on this video. Anyways, Reputation 4. Yippee! Can I buy keys now?
Hey, how'd you get this number?
Where are you going to get your supply, Tony? The Colombians? We all know how much you like dealing with them. You have nothing, Tony. You will be dealing in dimes for the rest of your pathetic little life.
Fucking puta!
After almost 2 hours of effort, I finally managed to get enough money to buy the Babylon Club without the game crashing. Fuck, this is exhausting. But at least I picked up a femme fatale while I was out there. Anyways, time to take over downtown. I head to the storehouse to cement my control over the region. No special gimmicks, no place to defend, just a you versus a fuck ton of guards. What's interesting that I accidentally found out starting the mission is that executions exist in this game. Shooting an enemy point blank will have Tony perform a brutal execution on them for a ton of balls. Pretty cool. Almost died doing it though. Not much else to say really. If you've seen me kill one guy, you've seen the mission. Except a chopper comes in once the ground troops are squad wiped. It's threatening, but pretty weak for a chopper in a GTA like. Just shoot it a whole bunch to stay away from explosive barrels. Do that, and downtown is yours. After the fight, someone named the Sandman calls you, saying that he wants Sosa out of Miami just as much as Tony, and wants to join his fight against him. Because...
Yeah, well, you don't die too easy. I like that.
I mean, sure, I guess. Don't pay attention to that time at Freedom Town, though. All we need to do is head to the islands to make it official. Before that, though, we have a distribution to do. With 4 keys and 8 fronts to distribute to, we're reaching the point where this is really the only way to make real money. We're also at the point, however, where the fronts will start being directly attacked by the rival gangs. All you have to do to prevent them from destroying the location is to get there before it runs out of health. It's easy for now, but will start to get impossible the further you're on that grind. They're just jealous they can't make $1.8 million in 5 minutes. Time to launder this shit with exotics. Then we're off to the islands. Hell yeah, time to take my brand new float plane there. Apparently I managed to change to a Hawaiian shirt before that too. Oh my god, really? Already? I haven't even been here for 1 minute, and I'm already being attacked by packs of feral gangs and vans too, I guess! Yeah, the islands are no joke compared to Miami. Everyone that can be hostile is. Even driving from A to B can be deadly because of the guys who camp on the side of the road just to drive after you and shoot at you with a fucking turret. It shreds you apart with or without a car, by the way, so it's best to just fuck off from them. If they even let you, that is. Like, look at the fucking minimap. The dude's going after me like there's blood in the water, and he's a bug chaser. And he's in Los Angeles.
Believe it or not, there are actually some people who want to get the AIDS virus.
The hostility isn't all bad, though, because the gangs infinitely and quickly respawn, allowing you to farm them for easy cash, given patience and skill. It's not much, but it can help you rebuild from major losses by getting you better dealers. Anyways, we meet with Sandman, voiced by, out of all people, the same actor who played Manny from the movie. Cool to see him stick around and not rage quit from the friendly fire. Sandman confirms the partnership where he'll supply Tony and Tony deals to Miami. From now on, all your deals will take place on the islands. He also directs us towards the Venus Bar Docks, which is where we first arrived at the islands. The bartender there gives us a lead towards a woman beater currently residing on the islands. Target number 2 has been located. But first, we need more reputation to enter Nacho's tanker and casino. The game implies that it wants you to do this on the islands. I say fuck that shit, I'd rather buy exotics. We'll do the side missions later, when we're desperate. For now, let's take advantage of our new connection a little bit. Most of the island missions are much easier and more combat focused than the Miami leads, and often involves trolling the residents just a little bit. Like this one here, all it is to kill 8 dudes. I can do that in my sleep, especially when they throw themselves off a cliff without my intervention. Seriously, those guys had the right idea. Anyways, paid down my heat, acted like a silly goober out in the water for a bit, got some money for a deal, and started making off back to Miami. Oh yeah, I should probably cover the pirates. There's a whole bunch of Somalis out here looking for Captain fucking Phillips that will lock onto you the moment you enter a 300 nautical mile radius around them, thinking you're him. Their boats are squishy, but they can deal some damage as well, so either outrun or outgun them. They aren't much nicer when you have 7 keys of coke on you either. You definitely want to outrun them here. Reach the edge of the map and you're back in Miami. From that point, just avoid the Coast Guard until you reach one of your storehouses and secure the goods. Deal and repeat. Like, look at that. 3 million in what, like 10 minutes? I wish it was this easy in real life. I also wish this game didn't crash so fucking much. Here's a tip for anyone wanting to play this game. Don't play this version. You can download a fan-made patch for the PC version of the game. That includes a ton of other fixes and improvements. So instead of relying on the poor emulation quality of the Xbox and PS2 versions, just pirate the PC version and patch it for the best possible experience. I'm too far deep in this version already though, so you'll see exactly why you'll want to use the patch in the next however the fuck long. Ugh, whatever. It only took like 5 minutes to redo. And it was a better run this time to boot, so I won't complain this time. New mansion, new girls, new reputation level. Time to take Nacho down. The fat tub of fuck.
Never trust a man to do another man's job, right, Tony? Perhaps I underestimated your desire, your motivation. I'll tear you apart again, Tony. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. You can't win. You will never win.
Go fuck yourself.
One thing I've been neglecting this playthrough is my armory. Yeah, I've actually been using weapons I found at rep level 2 this whole time, so I'm long overdue for an upgrade. Did I really just spend 500k on guns and bullets? What the fuck have I been doing this whole time? Well, now's a better time than any considering what we're walking into next. What a fucking shithole this place is. At least there's a bank up here to save, so he did something right. I also remembered here that some long rifles have alternate underbarrel weapons, and I just happened to buy the shotgun attachment for my AK. Sorry, Carbine, you'll have to wait a little longer for your turn. Alright, let's do this.
You see that fat bastard? That's Nacho Contreras. El Gordo.
God damn, he is really fat. Now, I don't like to genuinely boast about my gameplay too much, especially in the context of a retrospective, but I have to say, I played the best goddamn Scarface of my fucking life here. Granted, it is a particularly hard mission, but it entirely relies on the player shooting and killing. No gimmicks, no driving, no beatdowns. Just good old-fashioned gunplay. I love it. Every dude who so much as looked at me funny got blown to bits instantly, and I made it to the dock of the tanker without major issue. The deck itself is more of the same, but with plenty of explosives this time. They can be a bitch to shoot since you can't lock onto them, but they deal some damage and unlike me, do not discriminate. Luckily, enemies tend to aim for you, so don't stand near anything that goes boom and you're good. Mostly. Work through the dock and eventually you come across Nacho's best gunman, armed with snipers. You do not want to fuck with these two. They are fast, precise, and can kill you in about 4 shots. I miraculously survived a fucking propane tank explosion directly behind me, and proceeded to use my pure gamer skill button to kill them instantly. Tony picks up a sniper and confronts Nacho, who then jumps from the ship in an attempt to end the world in a tidal wave. All the game asks is to make him bleed. And that's mission over. 2 down, 2 to go. Time to save and move on to the next steps. Worth noting about the islands, by the way, The interest rate is reliant on your current gang heat, not your reputation level. This makes all the banks on Miami completely obsolete, and you should save on the islands whenever you can, provided you have any money to launder and low gang heat. There's a very accessible and safe bank at the Venus Island docks, just across the street from the dock. With Nacho down, his men are out for some kind of revenge, I think. Look, I actually don't really know the reason for this next mission, but I'm not complaining because Doc Boss is a fucking giga chad, almost more than Tony if I'm being honest. Island gangers are trying to blow up Doc Boss's barrels to sink his business, and Tony needs to defend them. Pretty standard. Luckily, he just so happened to have a spare SAW LMG to use to help him defend. It's big, loud, deadly, and only balanced by the fact that it doesn't let you lock onto anything, so you have to manually aim at enemies. Needless to say, it's a top tier weapon that Doc Bro just hangs out for free. When I say help Doc Boss defend, by the way, I mean that. Doc Boss gets right into the fray like the fucking legend he is and guns them down right alongside you. A couple reinforcements arrive, but it's pretty much the same throughout. Easy game, easy life. After the shootout, the Doc Boss follows up with another quick job for Tony to do. This one is probably the easiest mission in the game. Here's the whole shebang with the stopwatch in the corner. Yeah, that was it. Easiest 100k of my life. Hard to believe Darkside Phil had so much trouble with this one. It's almost retard proof.
This is fun.
I didn't fuck up. I did not fuck up.
We take one last trip to the Doc Boss for now, where he gives us the lead to take out the remainder of Nacho's operation for good. The mission starts with us flying out to Nacho's tanker that acts as a mothership for his cartel. We have a gun that sucks. It's shit to aim and less than accurate. And you remember that one mission from Spec Ops The Line? Oh, fuck it. The heli drops us off onto the tanker once Nacho's men start rigging the tanker with explosives to try to Viking funeral it. Now for the worst part of the game, hands down. What you have to do is get to 3 different points, perform a perfect, difficult persuasion check to defuse the bombs, all while fighting off an endless horde of AK-wielding freaks ready to take you to Funky Town. Why can't we let it blow up? Game hasn't said why yet. You just have to do it. I died so many times, and in so many ways, doing this fucking mission. And there are no checkpoints to be seen. You need to do all this in one clean shot, and it is fucking brutal from start to finish. So, holy Jesus, how many fucking guys is that? Like 1 million? After the last bomb is defused, you still aren't done, and you still don't have a checkpoint to spare. Now you have one last goal: kill the captain. Why? Because he sounds stupid and dumb, and I'm gonna take his lunch money. I wasn't risking a goddamn thing. Apparently, we couldn't let the tank explode because it was full of women. Tony speaks to one of them named Maribel and offers to help them when they get to Miami. You'd think that'd be the end of it. Cut to red, mission complete. But no! It's still fucking going! Even back in Miami! Apparently, killing the captain wasn't enough. We need to kill the dock foreman in Miami as well. Why though? I mean, it isn't hard really. Just more point and shoot with lots of coverage time to boot. But it's still another point of failure to send you back to the fucking bombs again. I don't want to think about it. Get me out of this mission. Okay, well, I'm kind of fucked. I have max gang heat, no money, and no drugs to distribute. So how do we deal with this? By ignoring the problem and doing some side missions on the islands. Yeah, I figured since I was in Rome, I may as well get the things I don't need to do done and try to pay down my heat to a tolerable level. The first of these side missions is kidnapped. There's a guy. His daughter was taken by Colombians, and we needed to get her back before they... Turn her into Dissected Chan. The mission is as simple gets. Kill the guys, escort her back, drive her back to the Venus bar docks. It should be easy, but that didn't stop me from gunning her down once or twice. Oh, don't look at me like that. Who stands in front of a guy holding a rifle with one hand? One! The gangs try to block the roads as well, but to little effect. You know, why are they going so hard after this one chick? There are hundreds of others in this shantytown alone. Just another case of the game trying to fuck with Tony specifically. We get her back to the bar and boom, right on the ass. Turns out he lied to us. Or he wasn't and the guy is winning hard. Either way, we're moving on before this gets weird. Next up is Fuck! Contraband. This mission fucking sucks my dick to hell and back to the point I didn't even finish it. All I do is drive for a minute, get your boat stolen, drive for a minute, fail randomly, drive for a minute, get your boat stolen, drive for a minute, gun down a few guys, drive while insta-killing a chopper, then die from a fucking bazooka guy and have to restart from zero. Fuck this mission, I'm going to the next one. Okay, Gangland, this is much more like it. A random encounter with some loser gangster wannabe turns hilarious and violent.
You better be giving me all your money or I'll be fucking you up like my bitch. Yo, I'm a 16th Street Crip, motherfucker.
What'd you say? You fuck a 16-year-old cripple bitch?
Just kill dudes to kill dudes because they want it and it's fun. What do I say, really? This mission is worth doing just for the opening cutscene, to be honest. And because it opens up the best mission in the game, hands down. Okay, calm down, I'm almost there. Fuck, I fell off the roof and died. There goes that free money. Whatever, we'll make up for it with best mission, here we go, best mission. I'm so excited. This entire mission is just you kicking trannies in the nuts for scaring people off from ordering prostitutes from the local pimp. You find them both visually, with the imposters having strong chiseled jaws, square shoulders, and flat asses, and verbally by talking with the prostitutes and hearing their answers and voices by proxy. This entire mission plays like a fucking pole joke, and I cannot believe that they managed to pass the censors and be sold for money. The crossdressers are so flamboyantly gay that they make Silvando look straight. And the fact they took the time to make them visually different than the female prostitutes is just icing on the cake. Funny stuff, through and through. Gold star, 10 out of 10. This is how to do a joke mission. It's time to take over the South Beach region. At this point, the missions that open up purchasing the fronts are basically a formality at this point, so I'm going to breeze past these real quickly in both playing and talking about them. First stop is Macaw Fast Food.
Macau fast food.
All this mission is helping the owner fish up sharks to cut their fins off to make soup with. This could have been a nightmare if you had to drive a boat to do it, but you get to follow in a chopper using a turret to blast a gang-piloted armada. So it's basically a shooting range with a timer. Wait for the owner to collect 8 shark fins and you're done. Next mission, keep them rolling. The next stop is the Sunray Hotel, a front that, despite Tony not considering it a particularly lucrative property, we must buy to honor Tony's friend, Angel, the guy that got cut in half with a chainsaw at the beginning of the movie. All we have to do is clear out a drug dealer that set up shop in the same room Angel was killed in. This is actually a great scene revealing a side of Tony that never gets shown. As he approaches the door, his bulldog attitude drops for a moment, and he hesitates to enter. Even after all this time, he's still fucked up over Angel's death. The only reason the scene goes anywhere is because the schizo chud dealer in the place opens the door on Tony. His name is Jimmy, which makes me believe that this is Jimmy Hopkins from Bully as an adult because I find that fucking hilarious. Anyways, Jimmy threatens to kill him, but doesn't actually do anything for some reason. And the party is crashed by who other than more gang members. Because of the close quarters locale, and the fact they camp the only exit you have, this is a very risky position to be in. But once you're out of the hotel and chasing Jimmy down, you're pretty much in the clear, almost. Find him escaping in a chopper and gun him down as fast as you can. It's pretty squishy for being a chopper. Being too slow means you have to do an obstacle course on shipping freighters, so make sure you rush a little. Now the last hurdle, returning to the Sunray. This isn't a joke. The most difficult part of South Beach is returning to it from the rest of the map. For some reason, there's a big problem crashing when you enter this area in front of the bank and docks. So you'll see me save standing quite a bit in that area. Just know I'm not abusing it, just avoiding crashes with it. There, see? Point proven. Luckily, driving slowly and facing the camera to the edge of the map helps you get around crash points, so it's not game killing. The next stop is the owner of it is the first person to be adamant about telling Tony to fuck off, and he's kind of a dick about it too.
I can imagine plenty of money, and I don't need your tiny protection. I control my own destiny. I killed a mob boss just yesterday because he was so fucking fat. You think I worried about such a thing? You dumb motherfucker. Go away, now.
Wow, what a badass. I'm creaming my jeans just thinking about how cool you... Oh, here comes the cavalry. So yeah, this guy's on a lot of people's shit list, and we have to save his ass from their Metal Gear Rising revengeance. A lot of people have a huge problem with this mission, but it's not too bad. Just follow the manager so the gang members shoot you instead of him, and be proactive about gunning down every red X on the minimap. Do that, and it's an easy pass, as shown by me failing the first try by playing Guardian Angel with the guy. Okay, last stop, Swan Song Hotel. This mission is as bog standard as it gets, to the point where I should just say, it exists, and move on. Drive to the Swan Song, drive to the dock, shoot some guys, blow up a yacht. That's it, it's that easy. The only reason my footage isn't 2 minutes long is because of the fact that I got my car stuck on a low wall and blew it up. At least you get to see the military Hummer I bought though. Anyways, time to buy these joints, so I'll be back once that's done. There's nothing more to add to the process at this point, other than the Brahma armored truck being fucking insane. You pretty much trade speed and the ability to shoot guns from the vehicle for total invincibility. As long as you drive good, you can finish these distributions without a hitch. It's pretty cool. Another region, another reputation level. They're kind of slowing down a bit, but we get some fucking crazy stuff from this one, including the sniper, deagle, and the massive 250k suppliers. Sosa calls yet again, and is pretty pissed about us teaming with Sandman.
So you are working with the Sandman. That scum has always been trying to fuck me over, and now he has the little Kulan to help him. If he doesn't fuck you over first, Tony, you know I will.
What an asshole.
This is actually a first for me in all the times I've played this game, but I need to go and get some turf so I can claim the warehouse. I guess that puts me on the list of the slowest Scarface speedrunners leaderboard, so I'm pretty proud of that one. I guess I've been ignoring the side content like the gangs in South Beach, since the rewards don't often stack up compared to the risk it is taking them out. I just did a short Felix mission to get the last bit of turf, and now it's off to the Shoreline warehouse. I yoinked some bitch's car for variety, I suppose, to head there. This time the gangs are taking no chances letting Tony in, locking the entire building down all around. To get in the place, you need a little help. I chose to bring the deagle along with me to show it off a little. As you can see, it's pretty good. Pretty much just a sniper that doesn't aim down sights, and completely obliterates anything it hits. I recommend keeping it on you at all times. I clear up the entire building, slowly make my way to the last guy because I have brain damage, and throw hard by using my rage mode. Yeah, I thought this part was more dangerous than it was, and I ended up dying shortly afterwards to another deagle guy. Fuck, that's embarrassing. Whatever. This time I can bring a better car with me that I can actually shoot from. Okay, finished off all the guys in the warehouse, heading out, and wait, where did that guy come from? Did he fucking teleport in here? Fuck, man, now I'm scared. I'm also still scared of the fucking deagle guys. It only takes a couple of shots to end me, and they aim good to boot. Okay, last foot soldiers are down. Now I just need to take out the Navy. It's probably a good thing I failed so soon the last try, since I would not have been able to do this without a car to protect me. Like, look at how much damage it took in less than a minute. Glad I made it through, though. South Beach is Tony's once again. Sadly, the next missions coming up are some of the worst in the game. Not because they're boring like Contraband, but because they just kinda suck for a really shitty reward to boot. I firmly believe they should not be main story missions, but I eat what's on my plate, even if I'm not particularly happy with it. To start off, we have Unload. Based on the names I gave the files of this mission, I don't think I need to explain my thoughts on it all too much. All we need to accomplish here is stealing about 15 kilograms of yayo from whoever the fuck, Nacho's tanker I think. Doesn't really matter, but we need trucks for it all apparently, so we need to get those from a nearby warehouse. You know, how do we accomplish all the other distributions without all these trucks? We aren't carrying that much more than what we normally do. Throw it on the pile of shit that is this mission. The first 2 trucks aren't too bad to do. Just shoot all the guys and protect the trucks. The last one is where we reach Fuck Central, population me. It takes place in a separate but nearby chop shop, implying you should get a car. But the game is really stingy with when you can summon a car in this mission specifically. Whether it's the locale or just the merit of the mission itself, who knows. If you're too close to either building, you won't be able to call anyone. So the first time I tried to do it on foot, and as you can see, it didn't work out all too well. There are too many guys, and they spawn way too fast to outgun them on foot. I decided the only way about this was to call a boat and go around. But the game fails you if you try this. The second time, I reach inside with more health, but no range mode, so I was fucked. Third time, I found a sweet spot and managed to call my Stampede in to protect me. It did a fine job, but these guys won't stop fucking coming.
Hey, write your own joke.
I had to use a very necessary med pack just to heal up for the fight against one of Nacho's last surviving lieutenants. This guy, let me tell you, this fucking worm may as well lop off whatever excuse he has for balls, since he fights like a total bitch. All he does is run back and forth between a desk and some shelving units while he tries to frag you with grenades and calls in backup. He sucks, but he manages to kill me because I ran out of ammo for my good guns. Yeah, that's a first. And if that wasn't enough, the game has the gall, the fucking audacity, to crash when I restart the mission. What a fucking joke. So I do what I do best. Replay the whole goddamn mission. It goes smoothly, then crashes again after I get to the chop shop. Fucking oh my god! This game is lucky it's data on a hard drive and not a CD because I would throw it behind my couch if it was.
Garbage disc? Fuck it. It's gonna stay back there forever. I'm never fucking picking it up.
So I do it all over for a fucking third fucking time. And finally, I can manage to finish it. Luckily, I didn't forget the strategy to beat the lieutenant. You see, since he has no balls, no dick, and probably doesn't have an asshole either since he's a fucking slug man, you can just pop him whenever he comes out with any kind of gun to send him scrambling back to cover. Eventually, inevitably, you will kill him this way. Thank God this mission is over. But the saga isn't done yet. We still have the whole get the drugs to the safe house deal. But not before we get another femme fatale to join our harem scarum. Fuck. Okay, now that we've got her, we should get this over with. This mission is annoying solely because of how easy it is to spontaneously fail and have to redo from the beginning. You'll see what I mean by that. It starts off pretty okay, just a leisurely Sunday drive. That is until the bully hunters jump in because we called some guy a fag online. And I do mean jump literally. It's kind of funny, honestly. Anyways, these guys aren't a problem, since the storehouse is so close by to the highway. Now this is where the game bait and switches you like a cunt. It pretends like you need to go back the way you came, but then sends you towards the Babylon Club to help Maribel with her shipment. I knew this already, and now you do as well too, so it's okay to deal with. This is where it's easy to fail. Maribel is a fucking retard, and does dumb retard things, like run into guys carrying shotguns and not get into the fucking truck when she needs to. Both of which happen to be in that order. Not before the game crashes again, though. Okay, we do the thing and... Motherfucker! Holy shit, I am so fucking mad at that. You can see how much I'm trying to aim at the car beside me. The gun is shooting popcorn. Everything that could go wrong there, did. Okay, back to Maryville. Let's go. You've got to be kidding me. The fucking asshole henchman took Maribel's seat and I drove off without her. I don't even know what to say. It's like the game is trying to piss me off. And finally, we've reached the promised land. The final drive to the warehouse. Almost there. The fucking truck, get out of the... Don't you fucking dare. Stupid asshole Semi, breaking the laws of physics. Yes. Yes!
Oh, I could use a fucking drink.
Honestly, I don't drink, but same. Oh, what the fuck? It didn't despawn them? They could have fucking ruined everything. God, this game is so fucking exhausting sometimes. Well, since we have them, we might as well distribute some keys for some money we'll need to progress. Hey, why is that warehouse flashing? Yeah, interesting thing there. I actually forgot that I already had drugs in a warehouse from a previous deal. Turns out, you can sort of stockpile drugs in multiple warehouses if you finish deliver with drugs already in one, rather than being forced to distribute before buying more. Anyways, as you can see here, the Brahma makes distributions a total joke as long as you don't act stupid. Remember, this is at soon-to-be maxed gang heat, so things are as dicey as they can be. They can't even touch me outside of attacking my stores. I got lucky and had only stores near me get fragged, so I ended with 0 losses. It got a little close for comfort at the Sunray, but we made it through. Oh right, the classic. Thank you, waiter. I forgot about the crash I ordered. This time I'm not mad though, because I save stated literally 2 seconds before it happened. Boom! Let's go. $10 million. While we're here, I'm going to save state to show something off that no one ever sees. Since we're at max gang heat, the level of violence that we've thrown your way is unparalleled. The gangs from the distribution don't despawn and follow me as far as they can, and furthermore, gang members will guard many so-called quote-unquote safe areas, such as car washes and banks, and are on a kill-on-sight basis with you. Meaning you have to pay down your heat to have any semblance of safety. Good thing I save stated to show this off too, because I actually died doing this demonstration. Yeah, it's that dangerous, even when you know what's coming. TLDR, don't get to this point at any cost. The real Tony was actually on the islands the whole time, laundering his money at a 3% interest rate, about half of what it is in Miami. Don't tell me it ain't worth going to the islands. Also, here's something I never knew. You could actually rank up at the islands. Yeah, at the Venus Bar dock, there's a spot you can rank up at left from the port when you're just arriving. Pretty cool, and kind of handy if you don't care about having the mansion as a backdrop.
Everyone you have ever cared for is dead, Tony. The Reaper is grateful. I intend to add you to his list, you fucking persistent little monkey.
Don't you fuck with me. The fuck you fucking pimps do anyway?
I sell pussy, that's what I do.
Pussy? Look like you done pretty well for yourself.
People accomplish all sorts of things when they got money.
Hey, you got any mother-daughter combos?
I like my chicken with my egg.
Me too, man. That's what I'm talking about, you know?
You got game is what you're saying.
Back in Miami, we have our final set of chores before us. Miami is nearly Tony's once again. The North Beach missions are actually some of the most fun in the game, and also the most, not hard per se, precise, I guess is the word. You need to know what you're doing at all times, and losing control is an easy way to fucking up. First up to demonstrate this,
Angel Dust Donuts.
Our task is simple. Get the cops out of the way so the owner doesn't get bullied into giving them free donuts and coffee. Okay, I can do that.
God, I love this job. Who took the last donut?
Is this Florida's best? Did they leave the keys in the ignition? Some cops you guys are. This mission is just a glorified race, where the time limit is your car's health. It's got some pretty cool moments for what could have been a really boring mission, too. Despite its simplicity, this is one of my favorite no combat missions in the game. Quite an accomplishment, I must say. On the way back, I gave the sirens a test to see if civilian cars reacted to them, and sadly they don't, and still went out of their way to merge into the cops' path. You know what? That's kind of realistic, so props. Props, what can I say? For such a late game location, Angel Dust is only $180,000 to purchase, so it's not a problem at this point in the game. Next stop is just down the street, Whippet Gambling. Remember that mission all the way back at the beginning of the game, where we had to slam into that dickhead until he got out of the car? Well, this is his bigger brother, and honestly, this is much easier by a very wide margin. Don't believe me? Watch this shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's the meat of the mission. The only other part of this to note is that if you choose to kill the guy, the cops instantly start chasing you. So you have to choose to either have the cops or the guy on you all the way to the chop shop. I decided to be a third alternativist and chose both because it's more fun that way. It's still easier than the one back in Little Havana. Pretty absurd, right? Maybe it's due to the faster cars at this point. Maybe because you can't damage the car you need too much. Either way, this isn't a problem. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have to bring it back to South Beach. You know what that means, right? Restart, do it again.
Place looks like it makes money. I bet I can help you make money. I bet I can help
Or not? Really? Well, thanks for not fucking wasting my time this go and crashing me in the cutscene. Next real attempt I did it though, so it's good. Also, note that the game makes it out that you'll get paid more for a higher quality car with less damage. But I still got 175k from that job with less than half health remaining. That's almost enough to buy the donut shop. Kinda crazy how cheap that place is. It's been going pretty well so far, so let's keep it going.
Peninsula Gentlemen's Lounge.
This one is simple if you don't listen to the game. All you have to do is kill a crooked cop that frequents the joint. You'd think this would be easy, but the dude has more protection than fucking Nacho Contreras had. Bro thought he was hot shit. This rando cop has a platoon of suicidal chainsaw freaks sunk in his dink. Gun through them all, and this is where you should ignore the game, because it heavily incentivizes you to use the pickle fork it hands you on a silver platter. Don't fall for it. But it's like, shut up! It sucks. Its fat front is so heavy it makes turning a chore and runs into everything. Ditch the gunboat and use any other one in your arsenal that has an extra weapon on it. Either the attack boat or preferably the cigarette gunboat, because it could do this. Yeah, puts things into perspective, huh? Also, check this fuck shit out. These chainsaw guys are taking chest and stomach shots from a fucking deagle that's 3 meters without even fucking flinching. Not just one either, multiple. What the hell are they feeding these guys? Adrenochrome laced with combat cocktails with a dash of whey protein? Like, fuck. Anyways, we did it. What's next on the to-do list?
Stein Jewelers.
Stein's Jewelry, huh? What is this guy, Caucasian or something? All the Chosen One needs is to make sure his stock is safe at the bank because he doesn't want to pay to insure it. Yeah, sounds about right. Okay, sounds simple enough. He even lends us his car for the job, since it's just down the... Holy shit, it's getting robbed! This is legit probably one of the most dangerous gunfights in this area of the map. The robbers all have high damage AKs and spawn completely surrounding you, so be on your toes. After that, you need to follow one of the stragglers to their hideout. This is actually more difficult than it sounds, all because of this weird back road that he takes on the way to the hideout. Fuck this road, I hate it. After that, the mission is pretty easy. You have a lot of room to maneuver in this parking garage, and the enemies act just as aggressively as they do anywhere else, so just camp the ramp and get the fuck out when you're finished with the gang and you'll be good. Okay, motherfucker, you better pay me fucking good for this shit. It took me like 10 minutes to get this done. That's like $13. So you better pay up, jewelry man. Oh yeah, 500k is good, thank you. Alright, last destination. Coco's Lounge and Disco. Holy shit. I never knew this song was in the game. I have to say, walking to the lounge, the last place I have to finish before the final buyout, hearing Push It to the Limit, it was special. Alright, let's cut the sappy shit out, because this is the rape mission. Yeah! So this woman and her daughter are being hunted down by the local gangs, and you have to protect the owner from them before they reach her. Spoiler alert, they never got to her in my playthrough, so you won't see that scene. It's nothing bad, just her getting dragged out of the building by her hair, but it's not in this video. This is probably the most demanding mission in the game, loadout and positioning wise. The game does provide the recommended weapons, and you should have an assault rifle yourself, but there is a very little flexibility in it, so you'd better learn these weapons fast. To start off, you will be shot at by a sniper, so take your own or pick one up on the roof and take him out. These guys deal damage and fire quite quickly, so don't risk being out in the open. When the sniper is dead, Hummers will arrive carrying a couple ground troops. The game will tell you to snipe them, but you will never be fast enough to do this. What I do is go to the ground floor and right beside the room the owner is in. Just wait for the guys to flood in and shoot them. Rinse and repeat until the chopper arrives. The chopper is an easy target, but don't make this mistake here. Fuck! See that? The explosion knocked me on my ass before the cutscene started. That means that after this last sniper spawns, I'm gonna take a hit and die because I'm in bad positioning. Yup, call me Nostra fucking Damus, cause I fucking called it. Now I have to do it all over again! Okay, back at the chopper, since it's not a threat in the slightest, get to the roof and start launching rockets at it. Don't worry about ammo, you have a couple of infinite sources behind you. If I could just, fuck it, just shoot the damn thing. And the last sniper too, he eats shit. One last wave of guys in the building and you're good. North Beach is officially up for sale. And you know what that means, right? One final batch of distributions to tie everything together. At this point, the individual fronts cost more than everything in the first half of the game. Combined. About half of them reached the $10 million mark, with one being about $12 million. So we have some serious cash to make. Even with all our businesses pushing dozens of keys a trip, we make just over $10 million, meaning we'll need to do about 4 to 5 distributions perfectly to gain control of North Beach. We're going to be here for a while, so we better get started right now. The first trip goes off without a hitch. Well, there's a couple hitches, but nothing that some 762mm can't solve. As long as you're there to solve it. South Beach was being cooperative too, so that was a nice change of pace. I'm still save stating every time I come here though, because crashes can kiss my ass. But the trip ended with a $10.4 million payout, or $9.4 million after paying my dues. A very good start regardless. It was enough to purchase the Peninsula Lounge. And that's it. Yup, one fucking front with all that money. And that was one of the cheaper ones too. Time to get more shit from the islands. I got this wall of text as a mission from Sandman, and fucked it up right from the get-go. I was bored from the drive here anyways. Me like shooting things. Second mission was more where it's at though. Just shoot a whole bunch of dudes. One thing to note is how long the leads are at this point. This one had about 3 steps that were all potentially lethal, just to unlock a supplier. And I got a longer one later that was equally as dangerous. This is not the time to fuck around longer than you have to, and take fights you don't need. Dude, can these trucks fuck off for a second? The mission said complete. Just stop existing. Time for the supplier.
What we looking at, man?
Check this guy out.
What? They respawned while I menued? That was fucking stupid. It could have killed me the moment I unpaused. Ugh. And there's a bunch of dickheads here trying to kill me right where the dealer is? What's next? Will they respawn too?
That's good. Keep it up, man.
I mean, kind of. There's more of them regardless. You've gotta be kidding me. That cunt flap of a civvy just barreled over the guy that I had to talk to ship my coke. Now I'm out 100k because driving Miss Daisy wet his fucking panties over some gunfire. You know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity to check Felix's tasks, because I'm here already. I've usually stuck with IO tasks if they involve more shooting gang members and less point defense, as I've said. But let's see what Felix offers in North Beach. Okay, this is promising. Just shoot 3 guys. I can do that. That's the last dude. What's next? The success... That's the mission? No, that can't be right. Talk to me. Well, holy shit. I was a fool this entire time. And you could head directly to the island dealer from Miami with a float plane to boot. You know what? Fuck Sandman. Felix is once again my best friend. Let's get this bread. Okay, Jesus, I'm getting shredded by these pirates this time around. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare! I made it. That was way too close for my taste. Time to distribute. This is fucking balls. 17 dudes started shooting up the Babylon Club, so I had to go save it, risking a game crash because of all the shit going on in the building. You guys are about, what, 25 missions too late for this shit. My problem didn't end there, though, because the cops didn't like me standing my ground, so now I have to get away from them, too! What are you, Canadian? Get me the fuck out of here. I didn't make as much this time from lost businesses and fronts. I forgot to repair for the last distribution. But I still ended up with 8.7 million. I'm gonna try something different this time around. Instead of buying a single front with this money, I'm gonna save it to try to get a bigger supplier. I've been getting 100k suppliers so far, but I think I can get 250k if I save enough money. It worked. It fucking worked! 30 keys of yayo purchased without a hitch. We're going to make so fucking much from this, man. So long as everything goes right. Holy shit, this is the easiest distribution yet. Not a single attack on a business and full coverage achieved. That is $18 million, baby. Fuck yeah, man. We've officially have enough to buy the rest of North Beach. So we do just that with $2 million to spare. But not before a gang fight behind Coco's Bar and Lounge. It was actually quite high stakes, since if I die before I buy the joint, I have to earn another $4 million to buy it. And I do not want to do that. Alright, leader's here. Where is he? Oh my god, a fucking bazooka! Kill him! Kill! Don't fucking do that to me ever again. You know what? I'm keeping this. All that's left to do at this point before the storehouse is to get more turf. Started off doing a Felix lead that was just shooting some guys. Never gets old. Glad to see Felix learn from Sandman before he went full retard. After that, I decided to show off how much more dangerous gangs are compared to the beginning of the game, since I only needed 1 or 2 more missions before I was done here completely. This right here is the toughest gang in the game, Gaspar's Elite. Every dude here carries weapons that can easily take down people in 1 or 2 shots and shred through most cars like butter. Saws and deagles out the ass. I beat them this go, but the cops showed up and threatened to fuck me. I was waiting for him to die, but he never did. In a vain attempt to salvage this, I chased the closest guy, but it was too late. Fuck you, bro. Oh, you want to go that route, you fucking piece of shit? Okay. Don't want to get shot? Don't underwrite shooting people, dumbasses. Now let's try that again with some better weapons. My better SMG, the MAC-10, finally has a silencer, so I can drop the shitty micro SMG I've been using since Reputation 1. And my carbine finally has its under-barrel grenade launcher, right where it needs to be. Let's go. I'm actually kind of being shredded this time around. Did you see the damage one shot did to me? Fuck this. Give me my semi-truck. Oh, you think I'm joking? This is the second most defensive vehicle in the game, and you can shoot out of it. Tony's taken some lessons from the boys and girls back in Ottawa. He does a man proud. Fucking, I'm semi-hard looking at this. They still managed to do some damage to it, so this was the right choice. Oh! How the fuck did I live that? Hands up, don't shoot, bro. Give me a second after that one. What a fucking finisher. The 2 million was almost not worth it, especially after the first failed attempt. All that's left is the storehouse, though. Jesus.
Okay, cocksuckers, you got one choice now. Gaspar's gonna lose everything he ever had to me. The war's almost over, you got that?
Oh shit, are they ambushing me from behind? This doesn't seem... Oh shit, they're my dudes. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is the least gimmicky storehouse in the game, but also the most difficult. No objectives, no defense points, just shooting and killing everyone inside its walls. Unfortunately, everyone is armed like that last gang, saws and deagles. Caution is advised. The final challenge is 2 choppers, with 2 shooters with saws each. I know I said choppers were squishy, and they are, but these things just destroy me in seconds, even with all the henchmen around me. Second time goes the same way, but then I get an idea for the next try.
Okay, cocksuckers.
Oh my god, it worked. And the truck is big enough to be a vantage point as well. I love this thing, man. Look at this, though. They're still just fragging this thing to shit. What just happened? Who, how, what, where, when, and why did I survive that truck blowing up with me inside it? I don't know, but I did. Sandman gives us a call.
The Colombians have been trying to move in on my operation for years. They've been threatening my plantation workers, and recently one of them was killed in a dispute. I'm declaring war on them, Tony. I'm going to war with the Colombians.
Fuck, the Colombians. They got some serious resources, man.
If we push hard enough now, we can deal with this quickly.
I don't know, man. I think you might be as crazy as me. How many people you got to help us out?
I'm ready, Tony.
Okay. Where do we start?
The plantation. The workers need to be protected.
Looks like we're in the endgame now. We own Miami, and we can finally start working towards our final target we did all of this to get to. We just have to help Sandman finish his business, and we're ready. But you know what? There was 8 keys in the storehouse we just took. For old time's sake, let's take one final trip to all their fronts. And for money, too, I guess. As you can guess, your production power is totally maxed at this point. Even with a pitiful amount of coke like 8 keys and several ruined businesses, I still made $7 million this run alone. Imagine how much I'd get from 30 keys. Too bad it doesn't really matter now, since there really isn't much left to buy other than the exotics. Anyways, it's time to... fuck it! One more run. I'm a greedy prick. It's not like all this money will be going away anyways after this. Especially since we just hit Reputation 8, baby! Woo! Back on top. This actually just gives you access to the final mission and $1 million suppliers if you care. At this point, everything else is superficial. No other weapons are unlocked other than the missile launcher, which you should already have.
You should have died a long time ago, Tony. You want a war with me, you fucking little monkey? I'll give you a war you will never forget.
This phone call is over, man.
Anyways, I fucked up the first deal and had to run. Fuck, stop following me. These cocksuckers, the warthogs, are pissing me the fuck off now, if you couldn't tell. They're so fucking annoying. Anyways, got the drugs, in the warehouse, saved the game, time to get this last trip over with, and we'll never need cash again. Take a look at that, man. Just drink it in. I haven't even finished up North Beach, and I already have over $10 million. But guess what? I fucked up. I forgot to prepare my friends from before this whole thing started, so I'm going to lose out on several $1 million if I keep this up. So you know what? I'm restarting this one despite how well it's going. Hopefully that keeps up next time. But the game really doesn't like you making this much money. Fuck, like, Chipeso Trattoria is already being attacked by 19 guys? Holy shit, man. It's one room with an office on its ass. Whatever. Finished them off. Almost died in myself in the process. But now at least I can... Are you serious? The literal worst place to get attacked. If I go there, I crash. That's it. And now the cops are on me on top of it. Yeah, I had to jump through a time warp back to Chipeso. The game can barely function with more than 10 guys on the screen moving. There was upwards of 30 smack dab in Crash Central. Unfortunately, I did very poorly at Chipeso this go, so I have to hope for no more raids. You've got to be kidding me. Again? If I'm fast enough, I could probably skip a crash and continue. If I don't die, that is. Okay, that was dicey. But at this point in the game, that's the name of it. Oh, fuck. Another front is being attacked. Oh, fuck! Another front is being attacked. Fuck! What is that? 5 or 6 raids in one distribution? That's outrageous. That's ludicrous. I mean, it's never fucking stops. I suppose I should consider that what they call in the army as conditioning training. Because the next 3 missions are the most grueling, demanding, and testing missions in the game. They demand perfection, and they do not fuck around. First thing first, help Sandman in his war against the Colombian Ortega cartel. When Tony said earlier that these guys are not to be fucked with, he meant it, and it's demonstrated perfectly in this mission. Only a few shots from any one guy will down you or your allies, and that's not exactly swell when you have to defend 2 of them. My first run wouldn't have gone so hot after that first wave of guys, so I canceled the mission out early. This time, I took a spare bazooka so I could turn those Hummers into IEDs the moment they spawn. It worked phenomenally, to be honest, until I ran out of ammo, but the wave was pretty much cleared out. I called my fat-ass semi to act as a shield for the next part since I had an opportunity to, and so I could replenish my ammo. Unfortunately, I got cock-blocked from re-entering it by some snipers, since you have to enter Sandman's house before the next wave starts. Whatever. I'll just redo it faster this time, or slow... What the fuck is this shit? This is like a uniquely annoying way of fucking with me. The game is practically mocking me. It could have chosen to crash, or keep stable, and it chose both like the fence-sitting fuckhead it is. You won't stop me from finishing this. You know why you won't? Because now I'm playing for keeps. Look at that. 160 missiles to launch. It's doomsday for this cartel. And doomsday it was. I wiped the floor with Wave 1 and made it to my truck in time for round 2. Even managed to snipe a few choppers before they dropped their troops. Not even a problem. But we aren't done yet. Sandman says that while we're busy here, the Colombians have managed to take Sandman's coke refinery on a nearby island called Tranquilandia, and wants us to liberate the coke before they do. I have vivid memories of this mission from the first time I played it, and I vividly remember having to use save states to beat the game from this point onwards. Now's my chance to amend that skill issue into a skill solution. Starting off, you have to get past these guys defending the island with turrets. They infinitely respawn until you push forward, as demonstrated by me here. A persistent and annoying trait this mission has that the rest of the game doesn't. The cigarette gunboat is a requirement. calling a lot of things annoying lately, because that's kind of what they are. They're not really added for any sort of difficulty beyond just something else you have to pay attention to. I suppose you have to do something, but it doesn't stop it from being what I keep calling it. Annoying. There's no point in attacking the right side of the inlet since there isn't an objective there and it's too dangerous to farm rage from it. Just clear out Bunker Chan and bum rush it while you have any opening. I really like the atmosphere of the next two parts. Kinda reminds me of Metal Gear Solid with the nature sounds and jungle setting.
Fuck you!
It's refreshing to see after the urban sprawl of Miami and depressing slums of the island. Too bad I can't say the same of the objectives. Much like the first part, gang members infinitely respawn until you enter deep enough the fray like a fucking STD. Except here, you don't have a boat to protect you, just your own wits and firearms against a horde of bloodthirsty Ortegas. Using rage is a very sketchy thing to do, since you might need it later, as seen as this attempt where I tried to use to clear out Camp 1, but then died trying to enter Camp 2. Also of note, unlike the rest of the game, enemies you haven't seen aren't blipped on the minimap in this mission, meaning you could get ambushed by 5 guys a second after you enter the building and die very easily. The game is flat out ignoring its own logic just to fuck with you in this mission. A few more attempts later, most of them me failing to be aggressive because of hubris and annoyance, I finally reached Camp 2. It seems like this building right here is the border, so as long as you hug the wall of it once, enemies will stop respawning. Make sure you get some use out of your underbarrel grenade launcher to kill groups of guys through walls and buildings. It might show only 3 shots, but reloads draw directly from your stock, meaning it has a very deep max ammo capacity of 999. The final camp of this mission is the easiest, seeing as you have a boat and access to a sniper platform. Too bad the game fucks with the rules here too. What do you mean I'm missing? You know why? The tree is blocking me. I'm not kidding. This single, solitary tree has collision on its leaves. Fuck you sideways. Luckily, I can still aim just barely under it with my carbine. After I made landfall, it was a slaughter, and I was not fucking around. One last part, and this one horrifies me to death to this day. Get to the boat and escape the island, and the Colombians are not playing games with you. They are posted with saws all over the place along the river that will shred your shitty little toy boat to bits given the chance. One minor mistake, and you're screwed. Oh, like that! I got lucky there! Whew, made it. It's over. I'm done here. I just need to make it back to Sandman. Yes, made it. Our reward? The Sandman selling us his plantation, officially uniting Tony and him against Sosa. What a fucking reward, man. It does nothing. Nothing happens after this mission. You know, as hard as it was, I actually really appreciate that mission in a way. Even though it does break its own rules quite a bit to fabricate some difficulty, it teaches the player how to deal with an unfair and overwhelming adversary, not unlike our final challenge. Before we get to the final showdown, I have one last thing to showcase. You might have noticed in the brief moments I showed the exotic shop, the henchman section. Inside are 4 items: the driver, arms dealer, enforcer, and assassin. What the game never explicitly tells you is that all of them, barring the arms dealer, are playable secondary characters with their own missions, models, and even voice lines. Each of them are designed around a certain theme of normal Tony gameplay, which I'll get into as we go down the list. Their primary purpose is to allow the player to collect money in a low-risk environment, if, for example, they need to lower Tony's heat and lack the means to do so. Also, as mentioned before, they're a more sandbox-type game mode, allowing the player to shoot civilians freely. First up is the driver, the only henchman you have to buy to progress the game, since he unlocks vehicle deliveries. Note that switching to a henchman removes all money and code from your inventory. That's important to note. You also start with a unique loadout for each henchman, but can access all purchased weapons as if you were Tony. Driver's missions are themed entirely around cars, typically involving retrieving and delivering a hot car to a chop shop, similar to the chop shop missions from the Saints Row series, or causing a distraction to buy Tony time to escape cops by attracting them yourself. His missions are fairly easy and quick to do since fighting isn't required beyond securing the vehicle, and payout is pretty proportional to said difficulty. Also of note, the driver starts with a unique melee weapon, the lead pipe. Make sure to save it in the weapon locker after you switch to him to avoid losing it. Next is the Enforcer. This big lumbering wall of meat has missions and abilities befitting such a description. His main difference to Tony is that he can carry up to a whopping 4 weapons at once, and has direct access to all ammo stored in the locker. As you can probably tell, going in guns blazing is this guy's specialty. His missions are as basic as it gets. Go here, kill this guy, go here, kill that guy. The Enforcer is also where the main downside of the henchmen will become apparent. They lack any form of rage mode. This can be very troublesome, considering how much of their missions require killing. But at the very least you can back out and save your money with Tony at practically any time. Again, low risk environment. Enforcer's missions are fun, simple, easy, and pay well. No complaints here, other than the amount of ammo you'll chew through playing as him. Lastly is the Assassin. She's the one you play as back in the Snipe the Boyfriend mission. And Christ, her skirt is shorter than a midget. Real classy, guys. Whatever, I don't care. Her special ability is that her missions have the added effect of reducing Tony's heat, meaning that there's no reason to pay down your heat, provided you're willing to spend the time doing assassin missions. Her missions are similar to the Enforcer, but only require you to kill one guy from a group of them, who also flees when you're spotted. It isn't too hard provided you don't lose your mark. She pays about the same as the Enforcer, but considering how much faster her missions go, and how much money you save reducing Tony's heat, she's probably the best henchman out of the bunch. Long story short, I wish I knew about her during my playthrough. That's it for the henchmen. There's not much more to say, really. Oh well, where were we again? It's time to take a vacation. The islands don't count. Have you seen that fucking place? It's like I'm fucking Nick Fuentes out there, even with the Plantation. Nah, man. We're going to Bolivia, baby. Time to end this, once and for all. I said, and time to end this. Once and for... You've got to be kidding me, right? You can't give me one moment where I can boast and be a big bloviating asshole for a second. Y'all's just jealous you couldn't break me. This game needs to figure it out, dude. Other Bladisms. Whatever. All I remember is that I could not beat this mission for the life of me when I first played this game years ago. Mostly because there was not a single checkpoint in this true gauntlet, and it is unflinching in its demands. Let's see how much I've improved since then. To start, we get a float plane directly to Sosa's compound in Bolivia. When we arrive there, Sosa is in a meeting with Gaspar and Sheffield, cementing his position as a snake and a rat.
Gentlemen, I wish to discuss something that is of interest to all of us here. I have a problem. We have a problem.
Get to the point, Alex. Montana's been a fly on our shit ever since you sent your hit squad to Miami. Since then, he's been on a goddamn mission to personally fuck us in the ass.
Yes. Well, I might remind you that you haven't been any more successful at taking care of Montana than I have, Mr. Gomez.
Hey, I never had a problem with him until you stirred the pot. I hold you responsible, Alex. And the only reason I'm here is to make sure that I get a deal out of this.
Ah, fuck. Why don't you two stop bickering about who fucked up where and put your money where your mouth is? Sosa, you have connections with the military here. Give them some money and roll some tanks on the prick. Come on.
Do you believe our friends in Washington would approve of Bolivian tanks on the streets of Miami, George?
Fuck Washington. I got them in my back pocket. A few greenbacks spread to the right hand. You make them look the other way for a day, never hurt anybody.
Jesus Christ, you fucking lawyers are all the same. Montana has declared war on everybody in Miami, and he's obviously not going to stop until he steps into this goddamn living room.
Yup, that's right. We're gonna be a one-man army and do exactly what Sosa did to us, right back to him. Except this time, we are gonna win. Unfortunately, That statement of a one-man army might be a little generous. You see, the weight of this specific float plane can carry is small, to say the least. And we can only take a single gun with us, a Deagle with 7 shots. Surprisingly, the cartel leaders in Sheffield are so determined to end Tony's revenge that they are fighting themselves. Kind of admirable, and it makes them easy to put down. First up is the lawyer, wielding a bazooka. Yeah, that's the kind of resistance we're facing. Right from the get-go, you're surrounded and outgunned, so first order of business is getting a more reliable weapon. The AK is the best one to get, and make sure you get one in 7 shots, or it's game over. It doesn't stop the dozens of guys coming after you, but now at least you can reload. I find the best place to take cover are the far awnings. You have a single choke point to hold, and there's a med pack inside. You do have to leave eventually, so be prepared to take some shots or have rage on speed dial. Use it when you're low, and cancel it when you're safe. If you haven't learned to manage rage mode yet, God help you is all I can say. When you kill the rest of the guys, you can finally confront Sheffield.
Tony, baby, hey, come on. You need to think about this. You gotta think a little more.
Fuck you, George, you fucking worm.
Put the fucking gun away. What are you, crazy? Why are you on drugs? Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, well.
Prepare to fucking die.
Fuck me in the ass.
This is my law, George.
Needless to say, he fights like a lawyer, which may explain the lack of rocket fire earlier. That, or the fact that all of his rockets except one are rusted and unusable. Yeah, don't think the bazooka is gonna help you. Inside, we confront Gaspar.
Holy shit, Montana, how the fuck did you get here?
How many babies have you eaten today, Gaspar, huh?
Babies? What the fuck are you talking about? You still fucked up on your own supply? You fucking addict. You have no respect for this business.
All I care about is Sosa's head on a platter to serve to the fucking dogs.
Don't think it gets any easier, because the mansion was designed to fight against you. There isn't a single place you can't get flanked. And forget about finding any breathing room. Don't ask me how I survived that long. I have no idea. Back to the beginning. That right there is why you need to be sparing with your rage meter. Getting caught without a panic button may as well be death. Don't do what I did that first time. Instead, clear some breathing room and keep charging into the mansion to the right. I went the wrong way and had to fight some more guys because of it.
How's that feel, huh? See you in hell! What? You fucking scared? Huh? Fuck off!
Yep, these guys are pulling out all the stops to kill you here. Push forward and chase after Gaspar until he's cornered and dead.
It's over, Gaspar! It's over for you now! You hear?
Don't get cocky, but there's still one man left to kill. Ignore those guys I just killed.
So, how's this going to work, Tony? How do we solve our problem?
You're going to die, Alex, for everything you've done in your entire life.
What about what you did? I told you not to fuck me, and you did, Tony.
There were kids in the fucking car, Alex! Innocent kids, huh? What kind of animals you got working for you?
I want to clear something up with you, Tony, before I kill you. When you move 400 kilos a month, it's imperative that you do kill children. That way, heroes don't get confused and go on 60 minutes. They instead crawl back into the hole they came from.
Hey, Sosa! Maybe it's time for you to make that call, huh?
Sosa may talk big, but he's still just a man, and he still bleeds.
Have a nice trip, Sosa! You stupid fuck! You see? I knew there wasn't a shortage of plotters.
Let me live, Tony. I need to support my family. It's all I got.
Hey, look at me. I want to see your eyes.
It's the truth. I swear. Please.
You want a job, man?
What about Ernie?
You want a job, Ernie?
Ah, look at this bullshit. Who deserves to be on TV? Me! That's who. Who should be on every fucking magazine cover? Me! Family? Me!
You got that right, baby.
Who put this thing together? Me! That's who! Who do I trust? Me!
Vodka for Venus, gin for Tony.
Hey, thanks, money. And you don't mind if I call you Manny, do you?
Call me whatever you want, Tony.
Okay. How about stupid fuck? How you like that, huh? Just kidding, Manny. You know, the world is yours, Chico. And everything in it. So say goodnight to the bad guy.
And that right there is Scarface, The World Is Yours. No credit sequence, no post missions, just you getting dropped back into Miami as Tony. As the game objective states, the world is yours. This is done in case you want to do more distributions and buy out the exotic catalog, but there's no real point. So at this point, what is there even left to say? I've covered pretty much all of it in the however long I've been prattling on, so I guess I'll just go on a little bit more about some other things on my mind about this game. I've seen a lot of people hoping that this gets ported or remastered or whatever, and I don't think I could disagree more with that sentiment. With all the humor and wit and content and really everything about this game that makes it special to this day, it would be gutted if it were to be released in any form nowadays. The world isn't like 2006. It would never accept this game as is today. It's demanding, it's ruthless, it's violent and offensive, and it does all of it with a smile on its face and a fake knife to your throat. It does things people get arrested for even saying nowadays, and it unflinchingly and unapologetically takes shots at everyone under the sun, especially those who deserve it. It has no moral or lesson or deeper meaning other than to be fun. And sometimes that's all you need to be. The dev team was passionate about Scarface to the point they wanted to continue the story themselves just so they could experience more of it. They wanted to see Tony be himself. They wanted to explore his mansion. They wanted to see what his business was like. Hell, they even gave the specific numbers of his entire empire at the end of the movie. The only thing Scarface ever tried to be was good, and it succeeded. So I hope it stays trapped in its own little niche in time, and I hope if you've made it this far, you give it the chance it deserves to have. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you all again sometime. You know what, fuck this sappy shit. Nacho Contreras is a fat faggot with bitch tits.